Good afternoon and welcome to the T-Bird Spotlight. Today we welcome Adnan Larouossi from the soccer team. He has a 3.7 GPA and is a pre-med major. So, Adnan, can you please tell me a little bit about yourself?
So this is my sophomore year here at MCC. I graduated from Hamilton High School in 2021. Uh, the plan for me, or the plan I have for myself here is, to go 2 years here playing soccer and then hopefully maybe take a gap year and then try playing overseas. And if nothing works out there, come back to school here in the US and then pursue a medical degree in some field. Still haven't decided yet, but a general idea is somewhere along the lines of, neurological science.
All right. So wait, Adnan, let's go back to you want to take a gap year and then go play overseas. Is that like the
Yeah.
process to going to play professionally?
It for an American trying who wants to go play in Europe, yes.
What do you do in the gap year?
I would just go overseas and then try and line up a bunch of trials with teams, back to back weekends or weeks, however it is it works, and then hopefully a team says, "Hey, we like you. We'd like to offer you a spot," something like that.
Okay, so then how much, okay, so talk to me a little bit about professional soccer because I don't know anything. Um, do you get paid a lot of money?
If you're good, yes. And that's why, so like in the MLS, if you're average, you don't make too much, maybe max around 100,000, a little over around that. Could be less when you're in your first couple of years. If you're really good and have only played in MLS, you might be 150, maybe 200, maybe 300. If you're an ex-European player, say like, I don't know if you've heard, like when David Beckham came and played in the MLS, like, he's coming, he's a big name, he's going to bring a lot of
Yeah.
money to the club, so they pay him way more than they'd be paying anyone else
Right.
because he brings in that kind of like publicity. In Europe, I used to think that everyone got paid a whole bunch, but I imagine it's about the same where, if you're average at best, you're making probably the same amount as a top level player here in MLS. But then if you're really good in Europe, you're making hundreds of thousands a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
but
so
you
let's
have to
start with
be.
what position do you play?
Normally I play forward, but here at MCC I've dropped back to center back just because that's what the team needs right now.
Okay. Hey,
So,
why don't you share with our listeners how good the soccer team's doing right now?
so right now we're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
We are 6 wins, one tie, and two losses. And then so far in conference play, we've had 3 games. We lost to Phoenix College, tied to Glendale, and then just this weekend beat Scottsdale. So we're sitting at 1-1-1. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, September 20th, we have Yavapai. So hopefully we can get another win against there, and that'll put us in a good position to make playoffs and then
Good.
have a run and another shot at Phoenix College since I think we can beat them as well if we see them one more time.
Good. What's the makeup of the team this year? Are you guys like sophomore heavy or is it mixed? Do you have a lot of returners or is it just like a normal, like half and half kind of
I'd say it's a
freshman?
mixed half and half. There's a lot of
All right.
returners who are now sophomores, and then we've also got a decent amount of freshmen who are coming in who also see a lot of good minutes. So even the future for the team as well, their sophomore year, they'll be a competitive team.
Good. So with that being said, why'd you choose MCC?
I chose it because my brother came here before me, so it was kind of like, okay, he knew the coaches, coaches knew of me. They reached out to me prior. Didn't have that many other coaches that I was talking to at the time. I think I had one D1 offer all the way out in Chicago, and it just wasn't going to work to go a 4 year that far away from home. And then with what I want to do overseas, wasn't the best fit. So to come here 2 years, keep touching the ball, keep staying in shape, and I got to play a year with my brother as well, actually, before
Oh,
he graduated because of the COVID year. He had
yep.
that third year eligibility, so his sophomore COVID year, I got to play with him my freshman year. So that was part of the reason why I came to MCC as well to play with him one more time.
That's awesome. What's that feel like? Playing with
It's
your
fun.
brother.
It's a lot of fun just because we know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So, like, he knows I have speed. So, if I was ever up top with him, he just played the ball into space no one I could get to. And I knew, he wanted the ball at his feet because he could get around players well. So, I'd have to play his feet. He'd play me into space type of thing. And then defensively, I'd cover for him just because he wasn't as great as dropping back defensively. So, I'd work back, get the ball, get it to him. He'd hold it up for me. And then by the time I got up, he'd play me the ball again. So,
All right. That sounds like a good little tandem you guys had going.
mhm.
So we said you want to be well, you're a pre-med major, but you want to like study neurology or neuroscience or something along with the brain and the body. So how do you balance your time? That's obviously a heavy load. How do you balance your time between soccer and your strenuous academic?
Uh, it is tricky, but it's always it's always hard that first couple weeks as you try to figure out, okay, what assignments are due on these days, how much am I getting, like where all the time I can get to do the homework. But once you get through those first couple weeks, then you find your rhythm, kind of thing as you do with anything else, and then from there it's wouldn't say smooth sailing, but you're sailing at least. Kind of
So
just
Adnan, do you have to like work hard at your grades, or are you like smart and work hard, or are you just gifted?
uh I used to be just smart, wouldn't have to work too hard for my grades, and then say senioritis kind of kicked in my high school year. And so, well, I mean, a little bit, but I still was able to I was like, okay, now I have to do a little bit more extra. And I had the time to do a bit more extra work, make sure I was studying and staying on top of it. So my freshman year, my grades were good. Last semester, I finished with straight A's, so I was good there. And then now this semester, first couple of weeks, still trying to figure this one out. With I think chemistry right now is kind of the tricky class that I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since I've taken a chemistry class. So, but once I figure that out, put in a little extra more work there, should be all good.
What's your favorite class so far?
Ooh, probably physics.
Physics.
I'd say physics, yeah. Of the classes I'm taking, be physics.
What's been the worst one? Do I dare ask that?
I think what's going to be the worst, maybe just the most time consuming that doesn't really apply to my field is going to be the critical reading class.
Oh,
Just because I ask the friends, they say it's just a lot of reading and responding to,
okay.
questions. And
Yeah.
when it takes up time like that, I could think to myself, I could really use this time to be studying for a class that I need.
Yes, I understand. So what do you like to do in your spare time?
Catch up on sleep. It's always a good one.
So
Do like to
listeners,
fish.
Adnan and I were visiting prior to getting online together. And just so you guys all know, he's a student athlete, majoring in pre-med, carries his 3.7 GPA, and gets up at 4:20 in the morning to help coach cross country at Hamilton High School. Roofda, you do have a servant heart in you. So there's not a lot of time. So you said you like to fish if you and sleep.
Yeah, either fish, sleep, and then during the day most of the time I also work at SRP. So that takes up. I go from cross country back to home, eat, shower, head over to work, and then from work I just come here to MCC, and then hang out in the team room, do my homework, and then training at night from 8 to 10 p.m.
What do you do at SRP?
Uh, I do a little bit of mapping stuff, and then really wherever they need help, I help them out as I learn like a bunch of the different things they do. So it's kind of more engineering work. Doesn't have to do much with the medical field. Doesn't have to do anything with the medical field. It's really just a job
Yeah,
that I was lucky to get. So
yeah. Gosh, dang. Adnan. So, yeah, you work harder than a lot of people your age or people my age. What do you plan on in majoring? So we said pre-med. So can you explain to the listeners kind of your why behind what got you into this neurology path?
well, initially it was more of kind of parents' decision, being that they're foreign parents. They came here, and then they want me to have a good life for my future family. and so they want me to get a good degree and get a good job to support that. And so initially I was hesitant, but now that what I spoke about earlier, I learned more about biohacking and then how the brain works and how like your brain really the different ways your brain can impact how your body responds to certain situations and just to your health in general. It has intrigued me a bit more to where I'm like naturally or I'm interested in it myself and not so much being pushed onto it.
So what's one thing you like one or I don't know, what's a few things you've learned about like how powerful our brain is?
Off the top of my head, I'd say just like your mental preparation for, say, just for a game. If you're, you know, and I'd read like things about this as well in some books I'd read. If you're going into a game and you're like visualizing what you could be doing in different situations, just running through a bunch of different scenarios. So, like, say if I'm gonna, I have a game coming up, I'm thinking, okay, if we get a free kick in this minute, right on this side of the box, I'm gonna hit it like this. Keeper's gonna be here, something like that. If you can run through different situations like that, if you get put into that situation, like you're likely to actually succeed in that situation because you'll have prepared for it mentally at least prior to being there.
I totally 100% agree. We coach that visualization on the women's basketball team. And do you do that for yourself?
Personally, I do. As a team, we don't do a great job of it. I know a lot of kids, at least with soccer kids as well, we like to watch like highlight videos of the top players doing a bunch of skill moves, and then we'll kind of imagine ourselves doing that in a game. So that's a form of visualization to where we're
Yeah,
watching someone else do it, and then we're trying to replicate it with ourselves in their shoes.
good. What are you looking forward to most in this during the season?
Uh, I'd say making a run at playoffs. Last year we didn't make it to the playoffs, and this year we've bonded a bit better as a team than we did last year. We've had more success as a team this year than we did last year, so it looks like we have a good chance. We have a good group of kids, talented kids as well, who work hard for each other. So we can just keep the ball rolling. I think we'll have a good run and even have a shot at a national championship or a regional championship.
That's awesome. So what have you guys done different? What did you learn? Like what strategies have you done different to become a closer team?
I'd say we've done more team bonding activities where more of the team shows up. A lot of times we just have, like last year, there were maybe 5 or 6 guys who'd show up to hang out all together. This year we've had, of say the 25 on the roster, we've had 15 plus, which is
That's awesome.
way better than the 5-10 that would show up
Yeah.
last year. So that always helps.
Yeah, you guys are headed in the right direction. That is good. Um, you guys have a good team. What are three reasons why you want to be part of a sports team? So it sounds like you love soccer if you want to go play overseas.
So I'd say 3 reasons would be one, I enjoy like the competitive atmosphere of it. Not only you're competing against the other team, you're competing against teammates for a starting position. Every day is like a blessing to be out there and compete against one another. You get to interact with a bunch of different personalities and different play styles. And the more people you play with and the more people you play against, the more you learn about the game and how to react in different situations to better yourself.
What's your favorite personality you want to follow or like to watch?
Um, there isn't one personality I could say like that I like to watch. I kind of like to take a bunch of different, people, celebrities, athletes, and take bits of what I like and try and mesh it into one. So
Yeah.
say for example, there's one player, he's very arrogant, but he backs it up a lot. Like he'll come out with an outrageous statement, and then next game he goes and scores some overhead kick. So he
Who's
talks.
that?
What's that?
Who is that?
Zlatan Ibrahimovic,
Okay.
big Swedish dude, 6'5". Just he's like compares himself. He doesn't compare himself to humans. He basically says he's not a human, and then he'll go up out the next game and then do something outrageous. So
Really?
yeah, and then you have like Messi, who he never says anything out, never posts anything crazy on social media, never making any statements. But I mean, on any given day, he can go and dribble through an entire back line and just acts like he does it all the time.
Right? That's cool. Who's your favorite team?
I like Atletico Madrid.
All right.
They're the underdogs of the Spanish league.
So how do you watch these? Where do you like watch these games at? Or how do you watch these games?
ESPN or Paramount, or you can just look up highlights on YouTube.
Okay. Um, do you watch other sports? Do you like other sports? I guess we mentioned you coach cross country, but
Mm, I'm not a fan of cross country. I do it just to run and like get in shape, if I'm being completely honest. I do enjoy kind of track. Track is fun. I'm not, I think it's the meets that get me is where, you're out all day to run or two races. Uh, I do basketball games are fun to watch. I do like watching basketball games, especially in person. Going to those are always fun.
good. Come to ours this year.
Yeah, I do plan on doing that. Been to the volleyballs and I'm waiting. You guys don't start till later though, do you? Till
Yeah,
like November?
November.
Yeah. So yeah, I do
Yeah,
plan on showing up to more of the basketball games this year.
good. The men's and the women's will be fun to watch.
Do you guys play on the
My,
same day, like back to back?
yep,
Okay.
yep, yeah. There's our little plug. Do you like any other like professional sports to watch? Are you
Uh,
100% just live, breathe, and eat soccer?
live, breathe, and eat soccer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same
Occasional
with
football,
basketball.
occasional basketball, but
All right. So, what's your favorite sport? Do you have a favorite sports quote?
I do. I heard it from my high school coach my sophomore and junior year. It was get comfortable being uncomfortable. I like that.
What's the most uncomfortable thing you had to learn to be comfortable with so far in your young life?
Hmm. I'd say recently, just now, like with this team, I wanted to play up top. I thought I could do a lot for the team up there, but I was there was an obvious a bit of a gap in the back to where if we couldn't prevent getting scored on, we couldn't. Didn't matter how much we scored. So I said, at this point in my career, like if the team doesn't succeed, none of us succeed. So
Right.
I got to suck it up and do my part back there so that the rest of us can have a chance at going somewhere as well.
Would your like 16 or 17-year-old self would have done that?
Probably not.
No? All right. Yeah, I like
No,
the
probably
honesty.
not. Just
Good.
because I was, I'd still be young. I still have X years to play and try and go somewhere with it. But
No, okay,
for
good.
right now.
So, what are your plans after MCC?
So my plans are to try and play, like I said, either a gap
Mhm.
year if there's an opportunity to go overseas and try my luck over there. And if not, I can. There's plenty of like semi-professional is what you could call it, where there's leagues where like adult leagues at a competitive level that I can continue to play in while I still go to school, and try and balance that as well as I decide am I gonna kind of drop soccer here and focus on school or keep going for a couple more years, see if I can make anything out of it.
Good.
So
So, big picture, do you have like a dream school? Let's pretend you're finished with playing soccer and you are going to keep pursuing this pre-med degree. Is there like a dream med school you want to get into one day?
no, I don't have a dream school. I
Oh,
think really anywhere in state is ideal. So I know U of A. If I had to pick a dream school, maybe U of A. I know they have a good medical program. It's not too
okay.
far from home, so.
All right. Just wondering. All right, cool. So Adnan, we're gonna have a little bit of fun right now. So it's called this or that. So it's just rapid fire, and you just tell me. I'm just gonna say two things, and you're just gonna pick one. Okay?
Alrighty.
All right. Ready? Text or FaceTime?
FaceTime,
TikTok or Snapchat?
Snapchat,
Indivisibility or super strength?
super strength,
Um, Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Dutch or Starbucks?
Can I pick neither?
Okay, good. Big dog or small dog?
Big,
Hot or cold?
hot,
Okay. Messy or tidy?
tidy,
Yeah. Reality TV or documentary?
documentary,
English or math?
math,
Night out or night in?
night out,
Okay. Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Pancake or waffles?
Pancake.
Bacon or sausage?
Neither of that.
None of that. Red or white?
Red.
And white. Go T-Birds.
Red and white. Go T-Birds. There you go.
Hey, thanks, Adnan, for being a guest on our T-Bird Spotlight today. And always, always continue to work hard.
Thank you.